Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So a big happy new year to you and a happy new decade to you. So I thought I'd make this video and tie up some loose ends for 2019. So of course we've just had Christmas, like what, week and a half ago now, or a week ago. I know everything's just one giant blur. So let's go check out the highlights of what I got for Christmas. So that was pretty epic. It was a good Christmas. Partner's parents went up to a little place called Tai Happy, which is known as the Gumboot Town. Partner and I, we just had Christmas lunch together. And then we went over to Tim Simpson's, who's another fantastic YouTuber. Went over to his for dinner, which was fantastic. Reason we didn't go to Tai Happy is because we were both working. But what can you do? I mean, working stat days, you get time and a half, so it all worked out anyways. So yeah, that was Christmas. So while 2019 was last year, or at least finished yesterday, wow, I thought I'd just show you a little bit of what happened in 2019. So it was a somewhat eventful year, not too eventful, which was nice, but there were a few things that did happen this year. I cosplayed Alan at Armageddon Expo this year. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people said that I looked very identical to Zach Galifianakis' character in The Hangover. And I even had a fake box of roofies.
So next up, from The Hangover, we have Alan. This is the gentleman you do not want to go anywhere near any animals at all.
Of course, we had the mosque shootings in March in Christchurch, which was a tragic event. My heart really, really went towards those people. So I wanted to do something about it. So I got together 5 of the finest rock and metal bands in Wellington, and we put on a little event called Banding Together, Rock and Metal for Christchurch. Me raised just over $1,000 to help out. As I'm sure you're well aware by now, I got a new job. I'm now a Lord of the Rings tour guide at Rover Tour Group. I'm loving every day of it. Of course it has its moments, like any job. But all in all, it's great. I get to meet people from overseas. I get to show them my little area of the neighbourhood. And we all get to pretty much geek out on an awesome fandom, which is The Lord of the Rings. Of course, with that meant a couple of weeks ago, I went and saw the Lord of the Rings Extended Edition Marathon at the Embassy in Wellington City. 726 minutes. It was a very enjoyable experience. I went and sat next to one of my tour guides, Manon. Shout out to Manon. And there was a lady that I was sitting next to as well from Weta Digital. So I asked her some questions, obviously you guys are working on Avatar, and she said, yep, if I say any more, I'm probably going to get shot. And fair enough too. They have huge confidentiality clauses in their contracts. I then went to ask, how many staff do you kind of have? And she said there's about 15 buildings between Weta Digital and Weta Workshop. And on the books, they have around 150,000 staff. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean all of them are working at once. Doesn't mean all of them are working full-time. It's just the amount of people they have on their books. So when I went to ask her about, the most memorable scene, she started off by saying, if I mention this to anybody at Weta Digital, they will cringe. But they spent 2 to 3 months working on Jack Black's butt crack for Gulliver's Travels. As a fan of Jack Black, I wouldn't have minded working on that. As for others, yeah, it's cringe-worthy for them now. But yeah, so new job, Rover Tour Guide. It's great. Earlier this year, and a big thank you to Greg and Maxine, owners and operators of E-Waste Services. Shout out to you guys. They paid for me to go and see Eminem. So I got to go to the Westpac Stadium, it's been changed like 2.5 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago now, to Sky Stadium. But at that time, it was Westpac. And yeah, I got to see the rap god himself, which was a fantastic experience.
Down a horror corridor. It's almost 4 in the morning and you're enough. Nightmare, it's horrible. Right there, the corridor. Waiting for you to turn the corner. See, he can corner you. You're a corner, he's corner you.
So this year I took a back seat to acting in this year's 48-hour film festival. And instead I became an editor for F-Stop Motion Pictures. And we made a little short film called Tinder 2.0.
That was correct. Ah, you know who else is quick? Me, when I run home from school. I'm kind of like, Usain Bolt.
May I take your order?
Caesar salad. Chocolate sundae with chocolate drizzle on top.
It became an audience favourite. That's pretty much where it stopped, was an audience favourite. But if you haven't seen it, there will be a link in the description below. So be sure to watch that. That is some of my best editing there, with a few touch-ups from some of the other crew. So it was a good experience, good crew, good people, enjoyable time, and friends for life with pretty much all of them. So yeah, it was a good experience. I finally went to Som's Island with Danielle, which was awesome. If you're ever in Wellington, be sure to check it out. They've got fantastic views, fantastic walks. There's some awesome wildlife. And they've got a house on top, which I believe is a 5-bedroom house. And you can stay there for around 300 New Zealand dollars a night, which is pretty rad. But yeah, it was a lot of good times, a lot of special memories there now. And looking forward to the next time I go back. 2 of my dearest friends got married, Scott and Kat. Shout out to you guys. So they came up to Wellington for their honeymoon, and we got to spend some time with them and go-karting, go to the cafe, all sorts of, cool things. It was more the fact that we got to spend time with them on their honeymoon when they could have been doing something else. So I really appreciated that. It was great, good experience. And not really experience, really. It's a good memory. There we go. That's the wording. Fantastic memory. So yeah, looking forward to seeing them in this year of 2020. Woo! And of course, there are some other fantastic memories. But I also got to meet some fantastic people. So I got to meet John Heder, who of course plays Napoleon Dynamite. I got to shake hands and meet Nicholas Hoult, who is of course famous for playing the Beast on X-Men and playing Tolkien himself in the self-titled biopic. And I got to catch up with Richard Taylor again this year, which was quite cool. So all in all, it was a fantastic year. I really enjoyed it. But anyways, that's been me. Before I leave, I just wanted to say Happy New Year once again. All the best for 2020 and this new decade. And talking about decades, I know it's going to be a little bit late. I was hoping to have the a decade of Lexa Dixon video done by today, but time. So yes, I'm planning on having that done by January anyways, so it should be hopefully out by the end of this month. That's going to tie up the last decade of all the entertaining and exciting stuff that happened for me, along with some of the memorable events that may not be happy and exciting, but it was still life-changing. Yep, so anyways, that's been me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And I will catch you on the flip side.